first round pick. Hey, throw that list away. All right.
Why are we around?
Yo, welcome to the show. It's a Chiefs Blitz night. Breaking down the plays, keeping everything tight. From Mahomes to the defense, we give you the scoop. Real talk, real stats, we the ultimate troop. This ain't no game, it's our passion on display.
The baby himself.
Chiefs Blitz podcast, real fans unite. Every touchdown scored, we ignite the night. From tailgate chatter to post-game debate, we love our Chiefs, yes, never too late.
I would even bring MVS back in the middle of the season.
What? Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar, sponsored by ChiefsBlitz.com, presented by UnderdogFantasy.com. Here's your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
All right, welcome to a special edition of Four Guys in a Bar. Tonight it's going to be the Three Amigos. I'll be your host, Nick Athan. Lou Montagna and Hense Todd will be joining us well, and a Mango from the Chiefs Blitz Wire satellite wire will be chiming in as well. And in about 8 minutes, the official 2025 schedule will be released. We've gotten a lot of leaks today. We think we know what the schedule is, but who knows how it's going to turn out. So before we dive into that, guys, let's talk about our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy.
Baseball is back.
That's right. Baseball is back on Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you cash in today. You can play the Pick'em game. It's very similar to what you did with the NFL where you're doing the Chiefs stuff. Now it's all about baseball, and especially the Royals. You can go higher or lower. It's really simple to use. Their app is amazing. You just choose your entry fee. You decide what you want to play, and you just see the winnings coming if you know what you're doing. So take a swing today and make sure that you sign up for Underdog Fantasy, and they're going to give you a meatball right off the gamut, Bobby Wood Jr. special. So start with a W for your first entry and new customers. Make sure you use the code Chiefs Blitz. That's right. Underdog. Make sure you use them. Use the code Chiefs Blitz. It's really simple. Just scan the QR code right there. Sign up. Use the promo code Chiefs Blitz. Deposit $5. You get $50 in bonus money, and then you can start playing games. You got the NHL, NBA playoffs going on right now. College sports are available. Golf's available. This is a great fantasy. We're actually going to be doing something a little bit new with Underdog that we're going to debut in a few weeks. So we're pretty excited about that as well. So we're very excited about that opportunity to kind of show you how to do this process and how to play this game to make sure you maximize your potential. So with that said, again, I'm your host, Nick Athan, and this is the Four Guys in a Bar podcast presented by ChiefsBlitz.com. And it's going to be a threesome tonight. It's going to be Nick, Lou, and Hense, and we're going to be running the show. All right. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Mango will be joining from the Blitz satellite overseas as well. We've been working hard today. Obviously, this is a big day. This is Christmas Day for Chiefs fans in May. The 2025 schedule release will be out in about 6 minutes. There have been so many leaks this year. And if people remember last year, somebody actually created a hoax Twitter feed, and everybody went with it. And he finally admitted like 20 minutes before how gullible everybody was. There's a new one out this year that we've kind of been looking at. So we don't know if we're part of the gullibility, but it looks like everybody else is doing it. So it's pretty crazy. Hey, we got Lucas David, Chiefs fan from Brazil. Can't wait to catch the Chiefs in person. All right, Lucas.
Let's go, Lucas.
You're going to be our guy on the ground.
You going to the game? You got your tickets? Are you there?
If you got tickets, you're going to be our guy on the ground. And hopefully you've got a really good camera. You could take some shots for us.
Yes, sir. You could be our official correspondent.
Here.
Yes, sir. Hey, so if it is Christmas, somebody opened all the gifts already. Not a whole lot of surprises. Like you said, Nick, it's not completely official, but so many different outlets reporting. It's some I guess notable reporters are kind of putting their neck on the line, so I'm sure they sourced it. So I don't think it's going to be too much different than what we've already seen. I mean, the people at 345 Park Avenue have got to be huge fans of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, you think?
I mean, to every single holiday, every Sunday night games, Monday night games, Christmas, Thanksgiving. I don't know. They're going to play on New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, whatever.
Right.
They can't get enough Chiefs. So for all the people out there, that's enough. They're having their Chiefs fatigue. Forget that. People still watch. They get monster ratings every time they're on. So it's just what a great time to be alive.
It is. It's a great time to be a Chiefs fan. I mean, the Chiefs average 25 million views. 25 million viewers.
They're going to set a record. That Thanksgiving Day game,
it's going to
set a record.
It'll be 50 plus.
It'll be huge.
It'll be the biggest game. It's the biggest game of the year. CBS is going to make a fortune on advertising. It's the Cowboys and the Chiefs. A lot of people. I've heard some people predict the Cowboys and the Chiefs in Super Bowl 60. Is that right? 60?
Easy, Mal. I don't know. I'm seeing the Cowboys getting a lot of national games too. Like, let's pump the brakes.
I'm not saying.
I got you, but
I'm certainly not predicting that one.
I don't know that you can really make a case for them being much better than third in their own division. So
that division is going to be fun to watch this year.
Jerry Jones he just keeps printing money, and they don't win anything. But
you can't tailgate out there either. There's no tailgate.
You got to come inside and spend your money.
That's right. It's about a 6.5 hour drive from here, so I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I want to shout out everybody for joining in. Western, Lucas, Big Mo, and this is for you, Mr. West.
King Mo, no, please don't, no.
Indeed.
No,
no.
The angel far away from here.
The only one that is going to stay on is Weston now. Come on. Damn.
Hey,
give us a warning. I got to turn my volume down.
Gosh, damn. Hope we don't get flagged for that one.
Nah, that's my voice machine box over here.
I know it is.
Dude, I would be advertising that, okay? God bless you for doing it, but okay.
Hey, if you ever heard Melo's World, that's my voice over on that one. So,
well, maybe you practice that one a little bit more. This one, I think, needs some work.
But we want, there's gonna be a lot of games that's coming up, man. And I don't know. I know it's gonna be a lot of. I think looking at the schedule, I've seen the Cowboys and everything else. But before we get deep and down to the schedule release, is there any surprise games on there that you think is gonna be sneaky? Is gonna get into the this will probably surprise the Chiefs a little bit. Like, you think it's gonna be a sneaky game that everybody's not looking for, and it probably that loss that comes in on that record.
Is the Jacksonville game on the road?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a potential, because they've got. I mean, obviously they've got some weapons. Now all of a sudden you throw Travis Hunter in there. You really don't. Hopefully by then you'll kind of see how they're using them, so it won't be like a complete surprise. But that would be that road game where you just, I don't want to say they mail it in, but depending on how the first few games go, they might be walking in there, maybe riding high, looking past them a little bit. I don't see them doing that. You usually don't see that from an Andy Reid team. But if you had to pick one out that was just kind of like, okay, this would be kind of a surprise, because it seems like everybody else they play is really good. Or at least decent, that you would be like, okay, I can see that, the team got up for them. But outside of that, it seems like there's not a lot of breaks in the schedule. I mean, there really aren't.
No, they've got this is going to be a very difficult season as far as the talent goes. And we talked about this early on, is that there's a lot, they've got the Lions at home, they got the Eagles at home, they got the Ravens at home, they got the Commanders at home, they got the Texans at home. So their road schedule is really pretty good. I think, and certainly a lot of winnable games there. It's not that difficult, obviously. And they got to go to Buffalo and they got to go to Denver. They're going to face the Giants, but I don't think that's much of a challenge for the Chiefs.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Where's the boss, baby?
Breaking news, guys. We didn't get hoodwinked this year.
We didn't,
so we're good? All good?
All good.
All
right. So let's go to get into week 1. Week 1 of the schedule, the Chiefs will be facing the Los Angeles Chargers down in Brazil.
Our boy Lucas David chiming in. All
Way
right.
to go, Lucas. We're excited for you, brother.
You got a job, Lucas. You need to check in with us starting let's start like the middle of August. Just check in.
If you're a real big Brazil fan,
give us the
Get your tickets early. It only holds 49,000, and I think that includes standing room only.
That'll be a nice trip for all guys trip, if you know what I mean. To go down there and watch the Chiefs game, in Brazil.
Most importantly, we want to know the field conditions because last year, were they playing Rio last year?
Yes.
Well, wherever they played, the field wasn't quite.
No, they played in the same. They played in the same place. I think.
No, I don't think so because I think this is the first time in Sao Paulo. So anyway, either way, we need to know what the field conditions are before we show up because that was a rough ride, especially for Jordan Love. That didn't work out too well for him. Luckily, he was fortunate enough to get back, within a few weeks. But granted. Okay, the Chiefs, it's a neutral site game, but, it's a division game. But I think like a lot of people have said it throughout, Twitter and the internet, that if they'd have played in LA, that would have been like a home game, an extra home game for the Chiefs.
Yeah, it would have been.
So this way, it kind of evens things up a little bit for the Chargers that it's a neutral site.
Right.
Right. So looking into this game, the Chargers, upgrade through the draft. They rebuilding their team. They do a build. They getting better on defense as well. So looking at this week 1 game in Brazil, I think the Chiefs would take that by 3 scores. In my opinion,
way too early for that. But go ahead.
Oh, this is schedule release. It's supposed to give my opinion, right? It's a schedule release, and that's what I think. I think that this team, the Chiefs would come out here week 1, ready to go. Andy Reid got these guys ready to go. Off of the ready to go down to Brazil. No distractions, but it can be distractions in Brazil. But again, the Chiefs come out and take care of business against the Chargers, man. In week 1, it could go on 1-0 in the division. Who's with that? I'm with it. I can't wait.
Why do you think it'll be so close, Hensley?
I said win by 2 scores.
How many?
2 scores, not 2 points.
Normally, your scores are like 42-3.
Yeah. Are we talking 2 scores, 2 field goals, or 2 touchdowns?
49-6.
I'm kind of including the air traffic, the travel, the jet lag. So yeah,
everything that goes along with making that trip so far away. All right, yeah, the Chargers got a much longer flight, that's for sure. Yeah, that's the only thing that concerns me is with these games. Now it seems like in London they have it pretty well. I mean, because those EPL games are played there, and it's real grass, so I'm sure the players love it. I'm assuming that it's real grass in Sao Paulo as well, but last year in Brazil, it wasn't so good. It was kind of slick. They were wearing different shoes, whatever the problems were. You want to make sure that the NFL gets down there early enough, gets their ground crew in there. If they got to do something, let's do it like in July and not wait. Now they may be playing some soccer games there before that. Maybe that was the issue last year, but yeah, just hopefully those field conditions are up to snuff for the NFL.
Yep. So there's the schedule. Interesting. Okay.
What you think, sir? You gotta get what you. We wait on.
My gut. I'm just looking at it, make sure Mango's right there. What Mango reported earlier was accurate. So, listen, I think obviously the Chargers were the number the Chiefs and the Chargers was the game. They definitely wanted to give that up because it basically was a home game for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they felt like it was a safe bet. Now I think the Chiefs are going to travel extensively for this game, so I think it's going to kind of be probably be a 50-50 mix. But, two things that are a positive of this. One, you're going against a division foe you're familiar with. And two, the Chiefs are going to start training camp early because the teams that play on Thursday and Friday start their training camp 4 or 5 days earlier than everybody else. So Andy Reid's going to have to balance it out, which is what they did last year. And, of course, they're used to going on Thursday, the Thursday game, because they've won, 3 out of the last 6 Super Bowls. So, listen, good matchup, familiar opponent, makes a lot of sense. And it's a good move by – I think the Chiefs and the league.
Right. So what do you think that's going to be a close game, or you think the Chiefs?
I don't know, dude. It's hard for me to. I know I'm gonna post an article tonight and kind of give you my early score predictions and all that, but I think the Chiefs are favored. I would be favored in this game, probably by 6 points would be my guess. So, I think a 10-point dubbing of the Chargers would be pretty great, in my opinion.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see how the team attacks, because last year they certainly had kind of a method to their madness, and then it kind of changed, right? I mean, Hollywood goes down in that game against the Chargers in LA. Rasheed goes down, so they kind of just hopefully everybody is healthy, just to see kind of how they deploy kind of the healthy pieces, and then also the new pieces like Brashard Smith, like Jalen Royals, see what kind of, how they use them, what kind of packages they're using to get Brashard Smith really involved. Because I think he'll be involved more than anybody, any of the newer players early on, just because of playing running back, and then also obviously having the receiving capabilities that we expect him to have, and being able to kind of move him around like a chess piece. But it's just an exciting time. First game, it's a Friday night. That's just
be the only game. It's going to be on YouTube, and it's going to be free. So even if you don't have the Sunday ticket, it's going to be a free game offered by YouTube. So you're going to be able to watch it. Now, it has not been, the local rights have not been negotiated. Look for probably Channel 41 or KCTV5. One of the two will probably be the two locations in Kansas City that'll broadcast it, and all the local affiliates around the area as well, just in case you can't.
Do you know who calling that game?
If I remember correctly, CBS.
Probably a CBS crew.
Yeah, CBS is doing is going to have their crew there. So I don't think it's going to be Jim Nance, and I don't think they're going to do that as an opening game. But
how about Kevin Harlan? And
Kevin
Trent
Harlan
Green?
would be great. Trent Green would be great. Or they could mix it up.
Have they announced their new teams yet? How they're kind of redeploying?
That has not. That usually they do that. Usually they do that later on. Like
maybe it could even be Iron Eagle and Trent.
It could be, or they could have an all-star guy. They could kind of do what they did with Netflix last year, and kind of use different guys. So it's going to be interesting to see how that happens. So week 1, the Chiefs will go to Brazil to face the Chargers. And do you have the week 2 game up there, Mr. Todd?
Yeah, week 1, the Chiefs will face the Chargers, and in week 2, the Chiefs will face the barbecue birds, the Eagles. That's what I'm going to call them. And I feel like this will be a revenge game. It'll be a good late afternoon game, and in Kansas City, the Eagles will be flying in, literally flying in. And here in Kansas City, hey, this is the revenge game for me. I want to see these Eagles fucked, taken care of, and ready for a beat down versus Patrick Mahomes and that new revenge offensive line. And then, hey, this is gonna be a game that everybody's looking for. On the you got circled around their schedule. I bet a lot of players have their circled in their locker. You know what I mean? This is the game I want. Get the bad taste out my mouth. And the Eagles coming in. Hey, we're not a better place than Arrowhead to have them right in here, in Kansas City, and ready to take those, the Philadelphia Eagles out. Even though Travis Kelce lost 25 pounds, he said.
We'll see. I'm interested to see how that goes.
That's pretty amazing. That was an amazing number to me, because either he was a lot heavier than we thought he was, or he is gonna look like a wide receiver out there.
Yeah,
because that's damn.
He's committed to having one more season at a minimum in Kansas City, and he's going to do everything he can. But week 2 at home at Arrowhead, it's going to be a Fox game, which means Tom Brady will be in the broadcast booth. He'll be shouting lots of love over Patrick Mahomes. And, of course, they called the game the Super Bowl 59 loss to the Eagles. Again, the Chiefs have been hit and miss in the regular season with the Eagles. They've won one. They're 1-1 over the last 2 in Kansas City. Obviously, they played them. Was it last year or the year before? They played them at home, and they didn't do so well. They kind of blew that game with a turnover and a couple other things that fell by the wayside. But for me, the schedule comes out. You want to. I'm glad this is an early game, so that way there's get the bragging rights out of the way. Go beat the Birds. Start the season 2-0. And get some mojo back. It's not going to erase the taste of that loss. One thing I did want to point out, we haven't been on the show, but ESPN is doing a series on the Chiefs 2024 season. And if you watch some of the promos, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce they spent a lot of time talking about that loss. And I'll be curious to see how much of that the series revolves around that, because a lot of crazy things happened to the Chiefs last year. But for week 2, the Philadelphia Eagles will travel to Kansas City. Our good friend Jordan Schultz had it first before anybody earlier today. 4:25 Eastern time on Fox, 3:25. It'll be the late game exclusive, probably the number 1 game exclusive window for Fox in their doubleheader. So they'll have the doubleheader in week 2.
Yeah, so that's going to be a big matchup there. And then they'll be flying. Would they be at home? I think they'll be on the road versus the Giants. And I think that the Giants, this it's just like an eerie feeling for Kansas City and New York teams, right? It's like when they play the Jets or the Giants, it's like some strange stuff happens. But again, I feel like this team. The Giants team won't be, they probably have a better defense coming around what they did in the draft. But other than that, man, I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs will make these guys the baby Giants. You know what I mean? Hey, they ain't going to be
Giants.
They're not going to be the Giants anymore. We ain't scared of any Giants, man. What my grandpa would just say, somebody bigger than you take them down by the kneecaps and make them go size. So if the Giants think the Giants, we got to bring them down to the size and let the Chiefs take part of this celebration run. I'm telling you guys, when I said last time, guys, this is a revenge tour, and I is going to start with week 1 with in Brazil. Hey, what not to start a revenge tour in Brazil, then come back home, relax from your vacation. Now you're going to New York with the Giant Rats and going to take out the New York Giants. So, hey, the Chiefs will be facing the Giants. It'll be on NBC. It's going to be, I think it's a Monday night game, I think.
NBC Sunday Night Football.
It's Sunday Night Football.
Sunday night game.
It is also the Giants season opener. They opened the season on the road with 2 games.
Open with a beatdown.
So and now listen,
they've historically had not played well.
That's exactly
in that. Anytime they've gone to New Jersey and play a game, whether it's against the Jets or the Giants, it always seems like it's a lot closer than it should be, or they just outright just come out and lay an egg. Now they played, I guess, a decent game against the Jets. But Zach Wilson looked pretty good that night.
Yeah, the Chiefs were up 16-0.
Pops had a big game, coming home, Jersey guy. But
50 Shades.
We'll see. They've got all sorts of question marks at quarterback. It'll probably be Russell Wilson at that point, unless Jackson Dart just has a outstanding summer and just completely outplays him, which would be really ironic. Because it kind of was how Russ got his job in Seattle. He was like a 3rd round pick. They had paid a couple of guys to play quarterback, and he ends up winning the job. But so their offense will be out. You got Malik Neighbors, you got Tyrone Tracy, you got some weapons. But I think Hense's point, the defense should be pretty stout, especially the front seven. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've added Abdul Carter. They already had 2 or 3 elite pass rushers on the team, Sexy Dexy, right? Brian Burns. So they've got a formidable front line. So we'll see. Again, it's coming off of that Eagles game. Now, hopefully, emotions won't be so high, if you win or lose coming off that game and then going on the road. But it should be an interesting trip all the way around. The stars will be out. It's New York. Mm-hmm. Taylor will have a suite full of probably actors, actresses singing. Can't wait to see who she has in that posse.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, then we in week 4. Go ahead and take that one, Nick.
Week 4, the Kansas City Chiefs will host.
Damn, all the top teams in the NFL just week after week.
The Baltimore Ravens will be in Kansas City. They'll look for an revenge of their loss a year ago on opening day. This will be a late game CBS, another primetime slot for the Chiefs. When you look at all the primetime slots on the schedule, you got to remember the late games are generally primetime. That's usually the only one in the conference unless they're balancing out a small market game or a smaller market game. So the Chiefs are going to be featured quite a bit on the national TV line. Obviously, they are very familiar with the Ravens. They beat them a season or so ago in the AFC title game in Baltimore. Got them on opening day by just a quarter of an inch or a half an inch of a toe out of bounds. Assuming they would have gone for 2 and won the game, the Chiefs season could have been a little bit different. But this is. Listen, Lamar Jackson is one of the best playmakers in the NFL. He usually has great regular seasons. He usually needs about 2 or 3 games usually to kind of get into a rhythm. So this could be the beginning of his rhythm. And I think for me, it's a good time to play some of these teams. This is going to be a team that's going to be really good. Now they lost one of their top defenders, a cornerback, if I'm not mistaken, with an Achilles tear last week in an OTA session. So that's gonna hurt their defense a little bit. But this is a formidable team. They're really great in the regular season, as we all know. They kind of stink it up and suffer in the playoffs. But I'm sure this is the game the Ravens have circled on their schedule.
It wasn't TJ Tampa, was it?
He wasn't.
He had a hard time with injuries last year.
It was somebody. Man, who was it?
We got a gold jacket guy coming in. Come on now.
Yeah. You guys talk. I'll find it.
I don't know who it was, but
they just extended Derrick Henry. So the top backs are getting paid,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, hopefully, both teams are healthy. But just about every game they play in these slots are the top teams, both in the AFC and NFC. I think really the only top team they don't play is like the Rams, just because they play the NFC East. But
our Darius Washington, their safety, tore his Achilles heel. Doing conditioning programs, so he's out probably for most of the year.
Nothing against him, but I'm guessing that Malachi Moore, was it Malachi Moore or Malachi Starks? Malachi Starks. He's the one from Georgia. I think they're probably expecting big things from him, and he'll be playing opposite of Hamilton there at the safety position. But hey, these two teams, again, a history. Usually the games are tight. Sometimes they're high scoring, other times not so much, but usually it's a pretty entertaining game. You got 2 of the better quarterbacks in the AFC, if not the 2 best quarterbacks in the AFC. So
I'll say this, man. The Crows are coming in. Hey, the Crows, the Baltimore Crows, that's what I like to call them, man. Hey, we don't care. Hey, It don't matter where they at. Week 4, week 5, week 6, playoffs. It doesn't matter. The Chiefs are going to take care of this game as well. So, hey, my record probably have them going undefeated. I look at the schedule and I looked in. I said, hey, I remember who we had. We have still the boogeyman. Yes, the boogie. Yeah, you know, some secrets, the boogeyman goes down, but the boogeyman is making a return on a revenge tour. He's looking for everybody that steps to this breath, and everybody that steps in Patrick Mahomes' path is getting shattered. So the Baltimore Ravens, aka the Crows, will be going down in week 4, guys. Next we got coming up next. We got the Jaguars. What y'all think about that team, Nick?
Yeah, this will be a road game for Kansas City. I think it's a Sunday night game, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is a young team that it's got a new coach. They got a new attitude. I thought they had a pretty good draft. I think they had a pretty decent free agency period. They didn't go crazy like they did a year ago when they were just trying to buy talent. Obviously, big coaching change. The Chiefs, have had the Jaguars number the last couple of times in Jacksonville. I think they've won the last 2. So I think this is a good time for that game. This will be the Chiefs, well, if you count the Brazil game, their 3rd road game in the first 5 weeks of the season. I'm kind of glad they get those out of the way because they've got a great stretch where they play 3 straight at home, and which I think is going to be great. And I think something like 5 out of 6, something like that. So, I think this is definitely an easy win for the Chiefs. I think the Jaguars are going to take it. It's going to take them a little bit to be that team again, provided they change the culture in that locker room.
Go ahead and get that question there.
The Giants aren't a top team aside from Carolina. They had the worst run defense in the league last year. They're still going to suck. John Harrison throwing it out there. And then Weston Brewster had a comment too. The Bills' back half of their schedule looks miserable. It's about time. Here, I got it right here. Looks miserable. We haven't gone over that yet. I haven't looked at anybody else's schedule yet, so I don't know. The Bills generally have had a pretty easy. The last 2 years, they've had a very soft end of the year schedule. So hopefully that's changed. Maybe Weston could throw the games up they got in the second half when we talk about it.
King Mo said he's putting money on Pat for MVP odds plus 800.
I probably would make that bet too.
Yeah, I told you, the boogeyman is back. The boogeyman is back. He's on a revenge tour, and the Jaguars are next. Hey, if all the Jaguars are missing in the zoo, and when you go looking for them, your name's there. When you go looking for them, the boogeyman came through. Man. And so I'm telling you, week 5, the Chiefs will take this game. I'm not just trusting Trevor Lawrence, right? Trevor Lawrence, you don't know what you're going to get. You're going to get beach guy, or you're going to get a quarterback. You put all this talent around him. Travis Hunter's coming over there to play wide receiver, cornerback, GM, coach. Yep. You don't know what he's going to be when he comes out there and suit up. So wait, week 5 come around. That's you don't know what a team you're going to get with the Jaguars. So I've got the Chiefs 0-5 so far. With a tough game, be 5-0. I meant to say 5-0 so far against with a tough game.
Listen to that. My goodness.
How you feel about these Jaguars, Luke?
All right. If you're just looking at, taking strictly analytics, in other words, strength of schedule, and this is just based on records from last year. You mentioned the Bills. They're around tied for 23rd. For the teams they're playing, last year's winning percentage was .467. The Chiefs' schedule tied for 11th with the Chargers, both over 500, 522, the winning percentage of the teams they're playing. So it's really no way to really tell what's happening there. Teams are going to be completely different. You kind of have an idea at the top. You might have some surprise teams and so forth. I don't know that Jacksonville is going to be one of them, but as I mentioned earlier, this could be one of those sneaky spots where it's kind of like a break from playing one of those top teams where, it could get away from them and the game will be a little tighter than you would than you'd imagine.
Right.
But again, that's just, on May, whatever it is, 14th, to see what might be happening in September or October.
There it is, King Mo. Sky Moore had 80 yards, made the big catch to seal the win. That's right.
So let's get into week 6, man.
That's the real revenge tour. Sky Moore coming back. Back from the dead.
I will be back.
So let's get it with week 6, man. The Chiefs will be hosting, the Lions on week 6, Sunday Night Football, time Chiefs.
So there you go. Jacksonville is like the perfect sandwich game.
Yeah, Monday Night Football.
You got the Ravens on one side, then you go play Jacksonville with Detroit coming in the following week. Human nature just tells. I mean, these are the best teams, and it's just. Whatever. Hey, it's Travis Hunter. Are you really going to get up for the game more because you're playing against Travis Hunter? I don't think so. But you got the Lions coming in now. Last time they played, I mean, we saw it. Young Joka was doing his best to learn how to juggle, and it didn't work out very well for him. It's going to be a great. I mean, Detroit's going to be good. The only thing you worry about with Detroit is with they lose their offensive coordinator. How is that going to impact the ball distribution, because you got so many mouths to feed with Amon-Ra, Laporta, and J-Mo, and Sonic and Knuckles, Laporta. I mean, you just everywhere you go, there's playmakers. So we have to see the first few weeks of the year kind of what's happening there. Jahmyr Gibbs. So it'll be again another tough game at home.
Yeah.
DS said that Chris Jones will punish golf. Chris Jones will punish golf. Hey, I'm all for it, man. Hey, the Lions are coming in. I'm telling you guys, the revenge tour is real. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm trying to tell you.
I don't think this is a revenge. I don't know if
revenge. Whoever, like I said last time, whoever's in the path, no matter what day, what time, what station we play on, YouTube, better, Tubi TV, it doesn't matter. The Chiefs will find a way to get it done. Hey, the Lions are just another team that's going to be in a way. I'm looking at this. I don't know if really think about it. I think the Commanders has exposed the Lions, man. I really kind of looking at it. I think Commanders going to be that tough team in the NFC. And everybody looking at the Lions like, oh, the Lions is the Lions. They just can't win in big games. The coach get them all wrapped up. They kind of lose in big game. And this will be another big game for them. I think the Chiefs want that revenge for opening day. They ruined the Benner night. Was it not Benner night, right?
No, they were the better team. There's no question.
Was it Benner night when they won against the Chiefs? Yes, it was. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's going to be revenge. Banner. Just for that statement. Yeah. So the Benner night is going to be for that, guys.
All right. So week 6, the Lions.
They're going to go back 2 years. So it'll be interesting as far as Detroit is concerned. It'll be interesting to see, what kind of shape Aiden Hutchinson will be in by that time.
Is he going
to be back to his normal self? I mean, that was a pretty bad injury he had, breaking his leg. And, they've drafted well. It seems like every single year Brad Holmes has been there, that they just plug and play these guys.
Yeah.
3 or 4 of their draft choices are going to come in and they're going to contribute and be like, oh, my God, here he goes again. So, I mean, that's not a tough out. Not at all.
What you think, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is one of the best teams in football, and in the regular season they play really well. I'm excited for this matchup. Again, I just love that if you love football and you want to go against the best, the Chiefs are playing by far the best teams at home. I haven't looked at anybody else's schedule. Yeah, it's just
outside of playing, I guess the AFC South, that kind of brings their schedule kind of back to the mean a little bit. But
I'm talking about home games. I'm not talking about.
I understand, but I'm just saying overall. I mean, those are really like. I don't know how good the Titans are going to be. Cam Ward, is he going to come out? I mean, is this going to be another James Daniels situation, or are they still going to be a bad team just because they're kind of devoid of talent in a lot of different places. Are the Colts going to be any good? I don't know. The Texans, they seem to kind of keep rolling no matter what happens.
Right.
And then Jacksonville. So those are probably like the breaks in the schedule.
Yeah,
that
everything
we've seen
else is
so far
with the AFC West. So
we'll see how good the Raiders are. I mean, that's kind of the wild card right now, because we still believe, and I think we've said it before, that the Broncos are going to be better. The Chargers are certainly going to be better. Second year of that program with Harbaugh. So, not a lot of breaks on the schedule.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the Raiders week 7.
There you go.
The Chiefs will play the Raiders right after the Lions. That game will be hosted in Oakland. It'll be a noon game.
No, it's in Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City.
Have the Chiefs played against Geno Smith recently?
I don't think they have played since he's been there.
I can't recall they played Seattle anytime. That was in the recent.
When they played Seattle, they had Russell Wilson. But
Wilson still there.
But Geno is not that guy. This ain't no Geno, so I'm gonna put it like that. So when the Raiders are coming out, they got it. They in rebuild mode. They trying to figure out who they identity is. So now, like again, the Chiefs playing the Lions. Could this be the trap game? Could it be the little sneaky game coming off of the tough first week? The couple of games in the week. Beginning of the schedule was tough. Then you come and get the Raiders, and I don't want them. But again, it's a revenge tour, so they don't care who it is. It's gonna be in their way. So go ahead, Nick.
I mean, those are the things that you worry about, is that next game. Again, if it was an emotional game, that seems like we had every week last year, right? But they were all like that, so there was no real letdown because every game was close. It didn't matter who they were playing.
It didn't matter who you played.
So they've got that in their DNA, that close game, whatever. They just stay the course. They play. They didn't. No situation is too big. Everybody kind of steps up when they need to. You just, in some of these games, like we've been saying the last few weeks, I mean, we'd like to see them maybe, have a snoozer or two during the course of the year where they kind of get a big lead and just kind of salt it away in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, the schedule the way it is so far, I mean, they've got some tough games and they kind of have some games that are against some of the better teams. So I think it's kind of like a 2-1 thing. This is the middle game of a 3-game stretch where they play 3 straight games at Arrowhead. We don't know what the Raiders are going to be. We don't know the influence that Pete Carroll is going to have. We don't know how that defense is going to change. Are they going to find enough playmakers? Is Geno Smith the answer? So that'll be kind of a good time. At that point, the Raiders should have some identity, and maybe this is a little bit more difficult game, but it's an AFC West matchup, so it's not going to matter what the talent level is. It's going to be a close game.
And Pete Carroll coming in against. Do you know Pete Carroll's record against Andy Reid? Anybody know that?
I don't know.
But again, it doesn't matter because it's going to be the revenge tour. We have the Commanders coming in at week 8. Yes, we are Commanders. Dump, dum, 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 dum. Well, they will be right in here. It's going to be against in Kansas City versus the Chiefs. Hey, this is going to be a game that everybody's looking for. I think it's going to be. I think it's a Monday night game.
It is. It's a tough stretch. Lions, NBC, obviously Sunday night. Then the Raiders a week later. Then they got to go Monday night and they face the Commanders on a short week. Or are they going to have the Bills the following week? But I think the Commanders. I mean, listen, this is the bet. Their quarterback was phenomenal last year. He almost got him to the Super Bowl. It's a fun team to watch. They're well coached. They got athletes on both sides of the ball. The NFC East this year between the Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys, and the Giants probably going to be 4th. But those top 3 teams remind me a lot in the AFC West, with I think the Chargers, Chiefs, and Broncos. Very similar. It's going to be a dogfight every game, but. The Washington Commanders are a team that has shown that they deserve the respect, and the young quarterback in Daniels, who just played incredibly above his I think above his abilities to some degree, and I'm very curious to see how he performs now in year 2. But some of the interviews I've heard with him, he seems really focused and driven, and this is a great game for Kansas City fans.
It is. It's gonna, like a lot of people in the
the whole schedule is so much fun this year.
They've upgraded their offensive line. They've upgraded at the weapons that they've given. I mean, Debo's coming in. The players they've drafted in terms of additions at running back, but they traded for Laramie Tunsil. That's a real grown up playing left tackle. So I mean they should be a little bit better than they were last year as well. So it's it seems every other week there, it seems like for these first few, it just seems like it's like a great team and then a team that just enough to be a pain in the ass to give them a hard time.
But we all know it's the NFL. Every team look good, 1 year and one next year they come out to be not to look that good.
Oh, no, you can't count on what they did last year, but just in seeing like the players they added, you'd think, there's going to be an improvement. Again, second year of a program, in new coaching staff, the whole thing, a second draft. So
this is the game. This is the game I think I'm most excited to see.
I'm excited too. I'm excited to see them play somebody else's new that's coming in. I'm excited about Jalen Daniels, but your mama can't save you from this one. Your mama probably saved you from everybody else, Mr. Daniels, but it can't save you from the Chiefs. And Chris,
I'm not going there yet. I'm not ready to go there. I don't think the Chiefs are going to go 9-0 at home.
Your mama can't block you from this one, buddy. Yeah. So when you're in Arrowhead Monday night, the crowd is rocking, the stadium is shaking, and the noise level is something that you never heard of. Hey, I'm ready for it.
That kid's heart rate never changes.
Hey, it's going to change in the boogeyman house. This is the boogeyman house. It's going to change, guys. I'll try to tell you. Hey, the Washington Commanders, week 8 with the Chiefs, man. That's going to be a battle to watch, man. I'm ready for it. I'm up and pumped for it. I'm ready.
As we look at these games individually, I'm kind of getting the sense why the NFL loves the Chiefs, especially this year. These are all like really, I mean, lack of a better term, not necessarily the time they're playing, but prime time matchups.
Yeah, they're money games.
These are all like all the Final Four teams from last year, they're playing.
Yep.
Right. So it's not like it's a bunch of teams that you're saying, well, maybe this year they're going to make that leap or whatever. These are teams that were in the playoffs that played deep into the playoffs. So yeah, this is a pretty exciting schedule.
And speaking of exciting, they go week 9.
Here they come
at Buffalo at 3:25 p.m. November the 2nd. That's gonna be a road game in Buffalo, and you never know.
I don't like this game. I don't like where this game is.
November the 2nd could be cold weather. Could it be snowing? It could be all that. And Buffalo, you don't know what you can get. Nick said he don't like this game. I feel like this, I don't think the Buffalo Bills are gonna be good this year, guys. I feel like this is where they fall off. This the year they fall off, and you're gonna see this. This is where the winter was closing. And that's why, Lou just stated that, hey, it looked like the NFL is giving all the, these primetime games, is putting all the money. They know that they hear all the fans say, last year, right? They cheating for the Chiefs. They doing this. Everybody's cheating for the Chiefs. But now the NFL said, hey, we gave them all the best teams that possible. And the Chiefs are still going to come out on top. It doesn't matter if the Buffalo Bills on week 9 in Buffalo, in the Snow Bowl, it doesn't matter. The revenge tour is still coming. Coming to your city, Buffalo.
You would have thought if they were going to fall off, it would have been last year.
Yeah.
But they seem to elevate. They seem to relish the fact that they didn't have a ton of weapons offensively. They started playing a little bit different. And Josh Allen, I just saw the Superman trailer here on my left, turned into Superman himself. So they've added some pieces. So again, it's gonna be another great game. Another, in terms of ratings, all these games against the top teams are going to be huge numbers.
Right
now, speaking of that, what y'all think about when they put the place the bye week 10?
Well, one thing too,
right in the middle is, ultimately it's pretty good. I mean, you'd like it maybe even to be a little bit later, but this is perfectly fine.
Yeah,
you don't want those early, like last year. That was like a little too early.
Yeah, going back to the Bills game for me, because you guys didn't let me talk.
Wow, okay,
that's okay. I'm just
let me mute myself, Nick.
I think the Bills have a bye week before that. The Chiefs are going to come in on a short week. I think that's why I don't like where it's placed in the schedule. So, I mean, again, the Bills get every opportunity and every chance in the regular season. It's perfect. Last year, they also played this game coming off their bye week. So they're going to be well rested in the Chiefs, even though they're going to have 3 straight games at home, and that's probably why they placed this game there. But then the Chiefs will be on their bye week. So there you go. That's it. All right, on to the bye week. We've got that. So what's going on? Who do we break out to after the bye week?
Let me get it. I'm bringing it in now. But again, guys, go ahead and get it. Ask this question for King Mo before I bring that in.
All right, let's see. I thought we played them, but yeah, we did. The way the schedule works is, I think the next for 3 straight years, I think the Chiefs are at the Bills. I think the Bills return to Kansas City in 2027. I think. I don't know. It's one of those things. I looked at the long range schedule a while ago.
I don't think the schedule doesn't really work that way. They play them because they were the AFC East champs, and all the champs play each other.
But the way the road game goes,
I'm talking about being on the road. Now that may have to do with winning percentage versus. There's some formula to that too. So I don't know that it's such a static thing that says, okay, we're going to play there 3 times and then play there 3 times. So there's some kind of formula to that. So but in terms of how next year's schedule, regardless. So like if Miami wins that division next year, the Chiefs win the West, they would play Miami next year. If they're not playing the AFC East.
Yeah, they play the AFC East in 26, so they'll be on the road at Buffalo in 26.
Right.
Coming off the bye week, you at Denver, right? A lot of people said this is a tough. Well, on this panel, they said this is a tough defense they're gonna be going up.
Yeah,
division. Like I said before, on paper, everything's look good, right? Well, but again,
they actually statistically were a top 4 defense last year. Yeah.
Hey, not in my eyes. Not in my eyes.
Fine. I'm not talking about some sort of geometric like La La Land. What they're the best, specifically to like yards per play, points allowed, all that good stuff that kind of tells you how good the defense is. They were one of the top 5.
Did they play the same schedule the Chiefs did? I don't think they did. So that's why I'd say
they're in the same division, so it's pretty damn close.
It wasn't that close. They didn't play all the teams the Chiefs played.
Not all, but it's very similar. The division teams, because they play the same. They play the same NFC division. They play obviously they play amongst themselves six games within this division. So the schedules are fairly similar. They just didn't play. I don't know if they played Baltimore or Houston or the other champions from.
I'm still trying to get
who they played, where they played at Pin the Tails on the Donkey Week 11. That's what it's going to be called.
I think Demicia's right. Sophomore slump coming. It could be.
So what you think about this game, Nick?
Listen, I think it's going to be a very tough game. I mean, these are really going to be tough back-to-back games, even though it's the bye week. And Andy Reid's record after the bye week is really strong. But go to Buffalo in a short week, and then having to go play the Broncos after the bye week. I haven't looked at the Broncos schedule, so I don't know how easy or tough it is or where this game falls. Obviously, we know they're playing each other at Christmas Day in Kansas City. But, again, this is a formidable football team. And Sean Payton's going to have these guys humming this year. And if they get off to a good start, a little bit different than they had last year, then, this game is going to kind of be the halfway part of the season and see where the Chiefs and the Broncos stand. I think they're the 2 best teams in the division.
That'll be a 3:25 game.
Yeah, so it'll be a late game. Well, all their games are at 3:25. So, and that means it's another CBS primetime slot.
All right. So Denver has the Raiders week 10.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Chiefs. Then their bye is week 12.
Okay.
And then they finish with the Commanders, Raiders, Packers, Jags, and Chiefs and Chargers. So
yeah. Not too
tough. Similar schedule. I mean, like I said, they're playing the NFC East. They're playing obviously the same division. So, and they made the playoffs last year, so the schedule's a little bit tougher.
Right. Absolutely.
In week 12, the Chiefs will play the Colts.
Well, they get a little rest. They get a little breather.
Well, Anthony Richardson, Ashley Turner,
Danny Dimes by week 12, probably.
Maybe. Yeah, we don't know who the quarterback's going to be for them this year. They just they've made one bad decision after another when it comes to the quarterbacks and not doing what they should do. But again, the way the schedule falls, Chiefs are going to have 3 or 4 really good games, and then they got to catch their breath against the Colts at home. This should be a pretty easy win. I don't think the Colts at that point are going to be relevant in the AFC South.
That'll be a noon game for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
Then they be going on to play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
So Thanksgiving.
I'm glad the Chiefs are at home on Sunday in an early game to play the Cowboys on Turkey Day. This was the one game CBS wanted more than any other. They got it, and the duel in Big D, the Kansas City Chiefs, also known as the Dallas Texans in their infancy in the old AFL days, will go against Cowboys. I hope they wear the old uniforms.
You think they wear both? Yeah.
I hope both teams wear the 60s uniforms for this game. I think it would be a great paying homage to the early days.
If I remember, like the one time I remember them wearing, Matt Castle was the quarterback.
Matt Castle and Tony Romo were the starting quarterbacks. And the Cowboys won in overtime
because they hardly. I don't know if were they forced to wear them that day or
no. That's something they talked about. No, that's something that they talked about.
They played against Dallas. Right,
yeah, before they were in Kansas City, it was Matt Castle versus Tony
Thanksgiving,
Romo.
they usually Dallas normally does something with their uniforms anyway. They'll play maybe the white helmets with the blue star.
Yeah, this is great. This is another game that Jerry Jones really wanted it to be the Chiefs. He tried to get the Chiefs a few years ago, and the NFL didn't budge. I think you got the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, you got the Chiefs on Christmas. Obviously, this is a money game. I love the fact that that Kansas City is going to get to go to Dallas in a primetime slot where everybody in the league is going to be watching. There's only 3 games that day. There's no other game going on at the same time. The turkey lunch food hangover will start probably about 4:00. People will be sitting on their couch.
It's your perfect slot.
It's the perfect slot. And again, kudos to CBS. They wanted this game, from what I was told, more than they wanted any other game. And they got it. And I think you're going to get 50 million people watching this game, especially if both the Chiefs and the Cowboys have a strong win-loss record at that point.
I see this game. I don't see Prescott. He's still going to be sleeping in his sleep number bed. He won't probably be playing in this game.
My goodness.
Prescott, Prescott going to be there be playing in the, playing that season, or are you going to be hurt? You don't know which one you're going to get from Prescott. So I think he still would be like, in the sleep number bed, getting ready for the game, trying to get, ain't ready to prepare for the game. But you get to see George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb action to see what happens actually there. Jerry Jones, did he build the perfect team up there for the Chiefs? Going to get that right there.
Who do we get as the halftime show? Because that's usually a big deal.
Who knows? Maybe Taylor Swift. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
John Harrison made a comment. Lou's right. AFC West teams play the same schedule in 14 of 17 games every year, except the 2 different AFC games and one NFC based on placing in the division. So that's kind of how it breaks out.
So with the Chiefs, after the Chiefs play the Cowboys, it'd be back-to-back Texas Chiefs beat down. Chiefs will beat down the Texas in week 14. Week 14, back-to-back Texas teams, man. Hey, Mahomes, from Texas, he go down there, take it out the Cowboys. Then he get to Texas, coming back to Kansas City. He say, hey, on my birthday ticket, I'm the true Texas king. And he takes out the Houston Texans too. So week 14, this is going to be a good matchup for the Kansas City Chiefs. But again, guys, the schedule is looking kind of tough. But, all these teams.
This is pretty tough. You're talking about Dallas and Houston. You got the two Texas teams. Listen, the Texans.
I think that's a Monday night game or a Sunday night game, right?
I believe it is a Sunday night game as well.
They've kind of had Houston's number.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
Even though like a couple of games have been close, they've kind of handled them.
Yeah.
For the most part. But again, we'll see. I mean, they've made some changes, wholesale changes at the offensive line. They figured that they dumped a bunch of salary with some of the higher price guys, bringing a bunch of young guys. So we'll see if that offensive line is gelled by then.
Yep. I would think
maybe you'll see Tank Dell back by that time. That horrific injury he had in Kansas City last year. But they drafted the two kids from Iowa State.
Yeah.
Higgins and Noel, Jaden and Jalen. So we'll see maybe the two rookie receivers, see what kind of damage they do with Nico Collins down there. So, it should be another, entertaining game. It should be.
No, I like, they obviously have had Houston's number. They beat them twice last year. And, I think they're going to be better. I think they're going to be more equipped to play better in December and into January. So this is going to be a tough game for the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Now I'll put it like this, man. That after the Chiefs, week one, they travel to their vacation, hometown. All the home fans are there. The other away home game, they get the Chargers again back at home in the original state of Missouri. They get the Chargers at week 15, man. Hey, after they demolished Houston, Texas. What you have to say about this game? It will be a noon game. Lou?
Yeah, go ahead, Lou.
Historically, the Chargers come in and play the Chiefs tough, regardless of who's playing on either side of the ball. So again, second year in Harbaugh's program, you got to believe they're going to be better. The rookie Omari Hampton, he should have taken over. You would think by this time, if not being the main ball carrier right from the top. They got Najee Harris that comes in. The offensive line is still one of the most stellar ones in the NFL. Defensively, they lose Bosa, but they had some young guys that I'm sure they kind of planned for that. So I mean, it's going to be a tough game. I mean, they're all going to be tough games. Seriously, I mean, it's
there's only a couple of games in there that where you have to think the Chiefs would be heavy favorites, and this game here, we don't know. Again, I think the Chargers are the third best team in the division behind the Broncos and the Chiefs. I think, Harbaugh's going to have his will with this team. Lou mentioned some of the new players that they have. It all boils down to Justin Herbert. Can he be that guy? Can he win big games in November and December leading into January? This will be a huge test for them. If the division is tight at this point and it's really close, the Chiefs will end the 2025 season, playing 3 of the last 4 against the AFC West. So the good news is it's a familiar opponent. They'll have played them in week 1, and that means these teams are going to be vastly different in week 1 versus they are in week 15. So, it's always close. The Chargers always have the lead in the fourth quarter, and the Chiefs always seem to come back. They got the doinker last year, a field goal to clinch the AFC West.
Matt Wright.
And so I don't think we're gonna be in that situation, but I'm excited for this game. Always
Easy
a good game.
there, Nick. I'm knocking on wood. Easy there.
It's always a good game between those two. And then they get the Titans in week 16. Hey, would this be the remember of the Titans, or would the Titans remember the Chiefs? I think the Chiefs, we remember the Chiefs when they came there on the revenge tour, when Travis Kelce come out with the cutout shorts, playing the drums, Patrick Mahomes, the lead singer, Xavier Worthy on the guitar, and they call us all kind of whoop ass over the NFL in week 16 against the Titans. What she had to say?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I think it's going to be one of those games where it's kind of like it's a soft serve leading into the Thursday night game on Christmas night against the Broncos. But, I mean, if you're going to go revenge, I mean, I'm going to go back to that, that game a few years ago where, the Chiefs lost on that field goal and Ryan Tannehill was just lights out in the fourth quarter, up 11 points and they lose. I think the Titans they're going to figure it out. I don't think they're going to know if they're going to figure it out this year. Obviously, Bergozzi's there as the GM, former Chiefs guy. I like him a lot. I think they had a good draft. They had a good offseason. They had a good plan. I think Kevin Lockett's going to bring some valued experience there. Can't hurt, right?
Right.
So I think this is going to be a win for the Chiefs, and I like the way that it's at least a close road game. It's only an hour-and-a-half flight. It's an early game, so they'll have plenty of time to get ready for the Christmas night game against the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, one of the real few breaks on the schedule.
Yeah.
You have to believe that they're going to, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle with them with a rookie quarterback. Last year, the Commanders, it was such an anomaly for Jaden Daniels to come in and just be like one of the top quarterbacks in the NFC right off the bat. So I'm going to say that this. I don't
think Ward's going to have the same success.
Is one of the breaks on the schedule.
Yeah, who knows if he's even playing quarterback at that point.
So week 17, the Chiefs will play.
There it is. Jingle bells.
Christmas Day, yes. Merry
Jingle
Christmas.
bells. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all were asleep, waiting for the anticipation of the Chiefs and the Broncos on Christmas night.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, I'm excited about this game. This is kind of sentimental to me because this game was 8-9 years ago or 10 years ago. What it was, they played this game. It was the return of Thursday night football. Prime time in Kansas City. It was the last game or one of the last games that Lamar Hunt saw before he went to the Golden Stadium in the sky. So this always had meaningful. He tried very hard for a long time to get the league to bring Thursday night football back to Kansas City. The Chiefs had a lot of games in the 60s, and then all of a sudden it went to Dallas and Detroit, and that was it. So this will have some sentimentality for me, but in the big picture, this game is going to decide the winner of the AFC West. I'm 1,000% convinced of that. I think these two teams are the two best in the division. I love the fact that the Chiefs get them at the end of the year in a primetime game to boot. Both teams are going to be coming off a short week. So I'm really, really excited about the opportunity to have this game in Kansas City on Christmas night.
So this is the revenge game. Knock their asses out of the playoffs.
Yeah, well, that would be great.
For that beatdown weeks 18 last year, Hense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I say that this is going to be the revenge game of Patrick Mahomes playing the character Grinch. He's going to steal the Broncos Christmas on Christmas Day because they're going to need that win to get into the playoffs, but it's not going to help them because the Chiefs would take them out. And Patrick Mahomes would get it done.
So did he and Travis get the Santa jackets again?
Yeah. So in week 18, they finish out the season in Vegas, where they put all the money on the cards, and they will gamble big and say, "Hey, we're gonna gamble real big, and we're gonna sit our starters." And that's where they will have their first loss of the season against the Raiders. The Raiders will take this game because the Chiefs will say, "Hey, we're going to gamble real big in Vegas and sit our starters. Get ready for the double bye week back to Arrowhead Stadium." Back at Arrowhead Stadium, be ready for the AFC Championship game once again.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, obviously, the season ending in Las Vegas, I think it's great. I think it'll be hopefully it's a nice tune-up for the postseason. Give some guys some rest because, again, I think the Chiefs will clinch the AFC West certainly by the weekend of the Broncos game, or that game decides it. So I'm excited about this. I always like going to Vegas. I'm curious at the end of the season. The Vegas Raiders will probably be out of it at that point. Be playing a lot of young guys. Hopefully the Chiefs are resting guys, and hope Hense is right that it's the beginning of a 3-week break where they get ready for the divisional round in Kansas City. I think it's going to be a lot harder to win the top seed this year in the AFC, because I think some of the teams have gotten better, but I also think the Chiefs have gotten better. Certainly on paper, as we're going to say a lot between now and week 1 of the regular season, on paper, I think everybody in the division has improved themselves, and I think they all shored up areas of need. It's going to be a matter of, how quickly can they collectively come together as it is. And of course, the injuries will be an issue. And again, I haven't looked at the schedule for anybody else in the division. So it's really hard for me to sit there and go, well, how many will they have? My gut tells me the Chiefs are going to win 13 games. I think 13-4 is a reasonable number based on the first look of the schedule. Gardner ain't taking no L's to the Raiders. Probably not. That'll probably be a nice revenge game for him, for certain. But yeah, listen, this is a great schedule for Kansas City. Again, a lot of great games at home, a very top heavy in the first 9 games that are going to be primetime slots. I think only 2 of them are not in primetime. In the second half of the season with 8 games, it's a little bit more of a normal schedule. They've got a couple of primetime games and a couple of primetime slots. So, there it is. I mean, the Chiefs schedule, again, recapping: the Chargers week 1 in Brazil, on the road week 2, at home against Philadelphia week 3, at the Giants week 4 at Baltimore with Baltimore at home, at Jacksonville week 6. Or is that week 5? I don't have my glasses. Then they got Detroit, Las Vegas, and Washington. 3 triples, 3 games at home before they go to Buffalo in the bye week. And then I think this is the easiest part of their schedule. At Denver, home against Indianapolis, at Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles at home, at Tennessee, Denver at home on Christmas night, and at Las Vegas. So if they can survive the first 9 and be 7-2 or 8-1, then I think they can afford a couple hiccups down the stretch. But that first 9 games, that's, I think the Colts is the only bad game in there. Maybe Jacksonville. So out of that 7, if they're 7-2 out of that stretch, I'd consider that a big success.
I say they're gonna go, looking at their schedule, I say 17-1.
Okay, well, you can't go 17-1 because there's only 17 games.
16-1, I meant to say.
Okay.
16-1.
Who's the one loss?
The Vegas, say they go
the last game. You think they'd sit their guys and not go for the undefeated season?
Well, I don't know.
They do it.
Oh, if they're 16-0 going to the last game, the starters are playing. I guarantee it.
I think Gardner Minshew would get the job done and get the Chiefs.
Look at some historical factors. The fact that they have dominated the division for so many years, and you look at it, regardless, I guess, of how much of an improvement that these teams have made. I think the Chiefs, if healthy, with the additions that they've made, are going to again win the division.
Yeah,
it just depends on what time. And then also historically, they start quickly and they typically are ready to rock and roll right out of the gate.
Yeah, that'll be a benefit.
That bodes well for playing, kind of a top heavy schedule as well, is getting those teams kind of like, a lot of teams look at September as just extended preseason, where it's just they're still feeling themselves out. They're trying to get their starters because they're not playing, in August. So now they're playing for the first time together in September. So they're kind of working the kinks out. So a lot of things, regardless of how difficult it is, I think the Chiefs are just well positioned to still do well with the schedule and be right there at the end.
Yeah.
Again, all things based on health to the key positions and just a little bit of an improvement, if not a big improvement, on the offensive line.
Yeah, if it's better, if it can hold for an extra second across the line when Patrick Mahomes is in the pocket, that's going to be the difference between a magical season and a good season, I think. And I've already gone on record. I'm not as concerned about the offensive line as everybody else seems to be. I just think they've got the right guys. I'm not sure who's going to be and where everybody's going to start. for the opening day lineup. But I think we're going to find out pretty early in training camp, and a lot has to do with Josh Simmons. And I think ESPN reported today that the Chiefs were ecstatic in his progress. They really feel strongly that he's going to be ready to go at the start of the regular season. So
other than Roger Goodell, the one NFL personality that seems to be most enamored with the Chiefs is one Louis Riddick.
That is the Louis,
guy. PA dude, played at Pitt. He played for the Raiders, played for the Browns. I think he played for the Falcons, or he played with Dion for a bit. But he also worked in the Eagles front office, I think under Joe Banner.
Yeah, and Brett.
He also worked with the then Washington Redskins as well. But he typically speaks very glowingly of any moves
he loves
the Chiefs made. He was talking about, he compared, and this is not hyperbole, this is exactly what he said. He compared Brashard Smith to Alvin Kamara.
He did.
Yeah. Louis, all right, let's pump the brakes a little. Take it easy, all right?
Yeah.
Come on now. Let's let the kid get a carry or two before we get a little excited. But no, he's great. I mean, he really is. And I tongue in cheek. I mean, he's pretty fair and balanced, but he does have an affinity for Coach Reed and Brett Veach.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give a shout out to the NFL for their Thanksgiving slate. 3 really great games: the Packers at the Lions, the Chiefs at the Cowboys, and the Bengals at the Ravens later that night. I think they finally put 6 really good teams out there. The Thanksgiving schedule has been a little over the last couple of years, so kudos to them for putting together a good game. I don't think you can skip, if you're an NFL fan. I don't think you can skip any of those games.
So you see the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. I would say it's gonna be Patrick Mahomes, Rashid Rice, because it's gonna be him coming back. From wherever they give him. He's gonna be coming. He's gonna have
put the schedule back up. Let's take a look at that. We'll talk about Rashid real quick. So if the suspension is 4 games, then he'll be eligible to return at Jacksonville. If it's 6, he's going to make his debut probably against the Las Vegas Raiders in week 7. Mm-hmm. So again, we have no idea what the league is going to do. There has been no court case. There's been no settlement. We don't even know when or if they're going to go to court this year.
I get a sneaking suspicion he lines up week 1 because
I do too. I'm the same way.
They haven't really moved along. It's been crickets. Not that it's not going to happen, but you would, if in fact they want to see the thing, if it's going to be adjudicated, or if there's a plea, something, just kind of some sort of finality, because there's no reason for this. I mean, it's not like a murder trial, or
they're just backed up.
He robbed a bank, some sort of federal crime. It was speed, just kind of hot rodding on the highway. Not that I'm minimizing it, but that's it. I mean, it's not like some huge, they're lining up witnesses and having to bring in experts and all this other crap. What are we doing? Let's get it done.
Yeah, it's really strange. I reached out to a friend of mine today who's kind of familiar with how it works down there. And I asked him this morning when I talked to him, and I said, hey, what's up with the court systems down there? And he just said it's just really slow. And the cases that really don't have a lot of bearing on, a lot of bearing, period, just get moved down the docket. And the fact that, I think the benefit for the court system for the Chiefs is, if nothing happens between now and September, well, he's not going to be suspended this year. It's going to be next year. So he's going to play every game. So 2026, yeah, he could have a suspension. And I think the longer it takes, the less the suspension is. We had heard 6 games initially, and then I heard 4 games. They feel pretty confident. It could only be a 2-game suspension by the time we get to him and say, listen, this was 2.5 years ago. I was a different person. I made a lot of mistakes. And the other thing, too, is the people that are suing him for damages, he's still on his rookie contract. If they're smart, they drag this thing out for a couple of years till he gets his next contract, and maybe they get a few more bucks. But I'm with you, Lou. if he's there on opening day, and you put all those receivers together including the Royals, and then you get Smith. I cannot wait to watch.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the three of them, and when I say the three of them is Rice, Worthy, and Hollywood, I think you're good. Now, and Royals, you're going to give him time to kind of
get the same
come
luxury
along and whatever, and we'll see who the fifth is going to be. Is it going to be Juju? Are they going to keep 6, and maybe whoever that 6th is outside of Nico? Or if it is Nico, then he's playing special teams. Obviously, he's the kick returner, but I mean, if he's playing, on return, not on return, but on punt coverage and kick
he'll
coverage,
do both.
That sort of thing. It would have to be somebody like that can kind of be multidimensional, because they're not going to use them that much in the wide receiver packages. So if those 3 guys are healthy early in this, just to get them on the field in a rotation or at the same time, whatever, just to kind of see how that works, how the field gets spaced, and it's a hell of a lot less congested when Patrick's going back to pass. That's just going to make things so much easier, and they will be able to score a hell of a lot more points.
Right. Also, the preseason schedule, the Chiefs will be the first 2 weeks, they'll be at Arizona and at Seattle, dates to be determined. And then Friday, August 22nd, they'll face the Bears in Kansas City. So between the 22nd and the 5th, so they're going to have 13 days.
They played the Bears like 3 years in a row.
It's a close game. I'm not a big fan of traveling far. I wish they'd play something, play like the Colts or – it's close.
To me, it doesn't matter, because that game is usually reserved for guys at the end of the roster, trying maybe just to have that one more shot to show what they can do in a game. But I just feel like it seemed 3 years in a row or 4, whatever it's been, 3 out of 4 years. The Bears have been on the schedule.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's close proximity to Kansas City, and they don't play them in the regular season, so I think it makes sense.
Well, guys, we are closer to the season. We
can now talk about we can now really start talking about the 2025 season. We've gone through the draft. We obviously went through free agency before that. We'll all take a look at the schedules in the AFC West to kind of see how that shakes out. Of course, we'll look at
3.5 months, man.
Yeah, so we got 3.5 months to dissect this schedule to ad nauseum, but we're going to do it anyway. And you all are going to love it, because there's no better place to talk Chiefs.
Do we have the off-season workout schedule handy? OTAs, minicamp.
So far, I ain't watched social media yet. Who is winning the schedule release on social media teams?
I haven't gotten pinged. I mean, anybody out there keeping track? Anybody in the chat? Have you been watching? A bunch of them had like a pre-one. They did them yesterday, just to kind of whet the appetite and what they might look like.
Real quick, the Chiefs OTA sessions are May 27th through the 29th, June 2nd through 4th, June 10th through the 13th, and then they'll have a mandatory minicamp beginning on June 17th and end on June 19th. So they're going to have 12 practice days. They do 7-on-7, 9-on-7, 11-on-11 drills. There's no contact. So basically it's going to be like, one of those practices without pads.
Okay. So for you sickos that are looking for some action, Eagles are -7 week 1, Chiefs -3 in Brazil.
They're -3.
Yeah. Cardinals -3.5 at New Orleans.
Wow.
Bengals -4.5 at Cleveland. Colts -1.5 at home versus the Dolphins. The Patriots 3.5-point favorites at home against the Raiders. Jaden Daniels 7.5-point favorite against the Giants. Let's see, Baker -2.5 in Atlanta. Are there any significant ones? The Rams 3.5 at home against the Texans. San Francisco 1.5-point favorite on the road at Seattle. The Bills 1.5-point favorites at home versus Baltimore. And then Monday night, the Bears 1.5-point favorites versus Minnesota. But no, so some interesting numbers. And if you track this kind of stuff, you can also.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be in Vegas the second week of the season. So it'll be fun.
If you like the Chiefs in that game, to get them at -3 now, it might not be a bad thing. It
might not be a bad thing.
Might go up by the time the game kicks.
Yeah, that's a pretty good line.
So with that said, guys, that was the schedule release.
All right. Awesome.
Thank you guys for joining in. We will see you guys Friday at our regular time at 1:30 to break down whatever's happening around
1:30 Central Time. Check us on YouTube. We know you like watching on Twitter. We know you like watching through Facebook, but please help us help you. Help you help us.
Yes.
Subscribe. Watch it on YouTube.
Subscribe. Donate. We're gonna have a Cash App out too.
That definitely enhances our opportunities to bring more shows, more things like this. So yes, we appreciate everybody that tuned in.
So with that said, guys, we'll see you guys Friday at 1:30. In the arms of the angel.
Oh my God, no.